shelter. Every 6 months, check the supplies in your shelter. Replace any expired medications, food, or batteries. Also make sure that all family members know where the shelter is and what it is for. Caution them not to take any items from that area. If someone borrows items from the shelter, you may find that important items are missing when they are most needed. If you have pets, prepare a place for them to relieve themselves in the shelter. Pets should not go outside during a radiation emergency because they may track radioactive materials from fallout into the shelter. Prepare emergency supplies. Stock up on supplies just as you would in case of severe weather conditions or other emergencies. Following is a list of things to consider when preparing your emergency kit. Food with a long life shelf. Example of this include canned, dried, and packaged food products. Store enough food for an emergency. Purchase and store bottled water or simply store water from the tap. Each person in the household will need about 1 gallon of water per day. Plan on storing enough water for at least 3 days. A change of clothes and shoes. Check clothing every 6 months and remove clothes that no longer fit. Remember to include underwear, socks, sturdy shoes, or work boots, and winter or summer clothes as needed. Paper plates, paper towels, and plastic utensils. Disposable dishware and utensils because you will not have enough water to wash dishes and because community water sources may be contaminated. Plastic bags because you may not be able to leave the shelter for several days and you will need to collect your waste in plastic bags until it can be removed. Bedding. Store sheets, blankets, towels, and cots for use during the time you cannot leave the shelter. Battery-operated radio and batteries. Electrical power may not be on for several days. A battery-operated radio will allow you to listen to emergency messages. Medicine. Have 2 through 3 days doses of your current prescription medicine and a child-proof bottle for your shelter medical kit. Label with the name and expiration date of the medicine. Discuss with your doctor the best way to obtain this small amount of extra medicine. Be sure to check medicine in your kit every 6 months to make sure they are not past the expiration date. Toiletries. Keep a supply of soap, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, deodorant, disinfectant, etc. Flashlights and batteries. Electrical power may be out for several days. A flashlight will help you see in your shelter. A telephone or cell phone, although cell phones or ground phone service may be interrupted, there is still a chance that you will be able to use a phone to call outside for information and advice from emergency services. Extra eyeglasses or contact lenses and cleaning supplies. Duct tape and heavy plastic sheeting. You can use these items to seal the door to your shelter and to seal any vents that open into your shelter for a short period of time. If a radiation plume is passing over, also don't forget the other members of your family. If you have an infant, store extra formula and diapers. If you have pets, keep a 3-day supply of pet food. First aid kit. You can purchase a first aid kit or prepare one yourself. Be sure to include the following items. Sterile adhesive bandages, sterile gauze pad in 2 inches and 4-inch sizes, adhesive tape, sterile roll bandages, scissors, tweezers, needles, thermometer, moisture toiletries, antiseptic ointment, tube of petroleum jelly or other lubricant, soap or hand sanitizer, latex or vinyl gloves, safety pins, aspirin or aspirin-free pain reliever, anti-diarrhea medication, laxative, antacid for stomach upset, surplus IPEC to cause vomiting if advised by a poison control center. Activate charcoal to stop vomiting if also advised by poison control center. Games, books, and other entertainment, because you may be in your shelter for several days. Keep items on hand to occupy your family during that time. Children are likely to get bored if they have to stay in one place for long periods. Think of activities that they will enjoy doing while in the shelter, such as finger painting, coloring, playing games, etc. Tips. Before entering shelter, if you are outside when the alert is given, try to remove clothing and shoes and place them in a plastic bag before entering the house. During severe weather, such as extreme cold, remove at least the outer layers of clothes before entering the home to avoid bringing radioactive material into your shelter. Leave clothing and shoes outside. Shower and wash your body with soap and water. Removing clothing can eliminate up to 90% of radioactive materials or radioactive contamination. By taking this simple step, you will reduce the time that you are exposed and also your risk of injury from radiation. When entering the shelter, turn off fan, air conditioners, and forced air heating units that bring air in from the outside. Close and lock all windows and doors, and fireplace dampers. When you move to your shelter, use duct tape and plastic sheeting to seal any doors, windows, or vent for a short period of time in case a radiation plume is passing over. Listen to your radio for instruction. Within a few hours, you should remove the plastic and duct tape and ventilate the room. Suffocation could occur. If you keep the shelter tightly sealed for more than a few hours, keep your radio turned to an emergency response network at all times for updates on the situation. The announcer will provide information about when you may leave your shelter and whether you need to take other emergency measures. And CDC says, in the event of a radiation emergency, such as a nuclear power plant accident or the explosion of a radioactive dirty bomb, you may need to leave your home or the immediate area. Depending on the direction of the radioactive cloud or stream called the plume is moving from the incident site, you may have to evacuate or go to an emergency shelter. If an incident occurs that involves radiation, whether accidental or intentional, you should listen for radio or television reports that will tell you if your area should be evacuated. It is important to wait until you are told to evacuate so that you will know which direction the radioactive plume is moving and how to avoid it. You may need to take shelter where you are until an evacuation order is given. Stay inside. Close and lock all windows and doors, and close fireplace dampers. Turn off fan, air conditioner, and forced air heating units that bring air in from the outside. Go to a room in the middle of your home or workplace, or go to the basement if possible. Your shelter should have as few windows as possible. Local police officials or local police officers, emergency coordinators, or governmental officials will alert you with radio and television messages if you need to evacuate. Each situation can be different, and local authorities will need to find out which direction the radioactive plume is moving before ordering people to evacuate. Local authorities will tell you when to go to an emergency shelter, where the shelter is located, and in which direction you should travel to avoid the radioactive plume. Some people may be safer staying in place than they would be evacuated. For example, your child in school may be miles away from the incident, and the wind may carry the radioactive plume away from the school. It may be safer for your child to remain at school than to come home to an area where there is danger of exposure to the radioactive plume. Act quickly and follow instructions